The mics are hot, and so's the gossip. Let's get into it in 3. Welcome to In 3. I'm Danielle Graham.
And I'm Callie.
And all is right in the world. You are back home. You are next door. And I feel good now.
I feel like one giant pina colada at the moment.
Which is my favorite drink.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know we do have that in common. And if I start sweating today, which I generally do when we get like heated and excited,
yes.
You will smell the pina colada coming
out
of my pores.
Please.
So we're working with that today.
I love it. I'm so glad you're back. It looks like you had a great time.
It was amazing. It was sunshine. It was smoothie bars. It was tennis in 35-degree heat, which is like my specialty.
Well, we're glad you're back.
I am back, but I feel like in a way, in terms of like our workflow and our conversation flow about the headlines, that never ceased to exist. That was a constant.
I know, but I kept saying to you, I'm trying to leave you alone.
You'd be like, okay, this is the last one. I'm like, you can stop saying that at the 15th one. You could just let it be.
But I was really trying to like give you space to be with your husband and enjoy your vacation.
But I tried to remind you that this is my pleasure and my joy.
I know. I was like, I'm going to give them one full day with nothing.
Did that happen?
No.
Oh, no.
You didn't.
I don't remember that one.
No, I think I got to like 4 o'clock. I was like doing pretty good.
I
haven't reached out. And then I had to.
No, so, it was great.
Well, thank you.
It was like you were there with me. Minus, the
minus
tan.
everything happening.
Yeah,
here.
minus the tan and the pina coladas.
So for today, we have to talk about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner.
There's lots of juice there.
Lots of juice there.
Yes.
And then, With Love Meghan is a must discuss.
I did watch a couple episodes.
How many did you get through?
I actually think I watched like 4 or 5, but remember I had some plane rides.
Right.
Yeah. So I had time to kill.
Right. That's good plane viewing, actually.
Yeah. I don't know that I would have chosen it.
And then some Blake Lively at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
With the
Her
second
first
installment.
red carpet.
Yeah.
Since this whole fiasco chaos drama.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was on ayahuasca.
Right. That part. And then we're going to dig in, like a mini dig into Sydney Sweeney. We're going to pop over to that story because there's like a little connection there. And we always love talking about Sydney.
We do. I love her.
Yes. And then we have to talk about Kate Hudson.
Yeah. I love seeing her back.
Vibing with her comeback.
Same.
Not that she ever left, but it just really feels like she's been in our faces. And for once, I feel like it's a person that I can't get enough of.
I totally agree.
It kind of feels like the Cameron Diaz of it all, right?
Same. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I missed you until you came back. And then I was, where have you been? Girl, I'm glad to see you.
She's just like an old friend.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see her back. Before we get into it, you know what I was really sad to see? I was really sad to see the passing of Dolly Parton's husband.
I know.
You know, I love.
You're a Dolly stan.
Like the biggest.
Yeah.
Love Dolly Parton.
Which tracks for me. Yeah.
At one point, I actually.
You and Dolly Parton hand in hand. Hand in hand emoji.
We are that. Yeah. At one point, I think I had Dolly on a potential list of names for my kids. Like, I love Dolly Parton.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And actually, when I was pregnant with Marigold, I was interviewing Dolly Parton. And because she had the song Jolene, which was such a name, it was a name-based song. I wanted to share with her the name of the baby before the baby was born. So the only person on earth who knew Marigold's name before she came into the world, besides Randall and I, was Dolly Parton.
Oh my God, wait, I just got chills. That's so cute.
Yeah, I handed her a little piece of paper. I said, you understand the significance of a name and like what a name can mean. Like look at what the song Jolene did for people and meant to people. And how they interpreted it. So I said, I'm going to hand you this name on a piece of paper. And
I bet she had the best response.
Yeah, she was like, oh, I can see this child frolicking. I can see this child of the earth and being so open and so loving and so curious. And I was like, that's my
God,
girl.
that's the perfect description.
Yeah. So
that is really cute.
And then within that chat, she did talk a lot about her husband, Carl, and their 60-year marriage. And, you know, he managed to stay completely out of the spotlight. And she really did live she does live a dual life. Like she has her Carl life, you know, no wigs or anything, and then her very public stage life. And I was just really sad because I know that was like such a huge loss for her.
Yeah. And I feel like in Hollywood, they were always sort of like the pinnacle, like the perfect couple. And she always spoke of it so highly and just like loved love and loved marriage.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was sad.
It was sad. Anyway, yeah, I love my girl Dolly. I hope she's okay. That's just been thinking about her.
Dolly. Shout out Dolly.
Shout out Dolly Parton.
We love Dolly.
I love. Aww. Anyway, yeah. Okay. This Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner story has just taken over, and
it really has.
Yeah. So did this headline start and this story begin because it was their son Samuel's birthday at a, what was it, like a paintball range?
Yeah.
Shooting place. And there was a very shaky video taken from a paparazzi person very far away, clearly, but they got the shot, and there was an embrace, like an around the waist embrace.
Did you watch the video?
100%. Did you?
Yeah.
Had to.
Like over and over and over.
I felt like the Blair Witch Project watching it. I was like, oh my God, I'm really sick. I know this camera work is atrocious.
Yeah. But like, can you hold still?
Honestly.
We're trying to get a good look of what's going on here. Because it was quick, but it was very intimate.
Yeah.
And I always put it on a lens of like, okay, if this was me and an ex, like how would my current partner feel about that?
That's the only lens to apply to this.
It was really giving they still have a physical closeness.
I mean, there's a hug, which is one thing. Around the waist is a very
okay, but wait, it
embrace.
was an around the waist embrace, but it was also a bit of a pull.
Oh, I missed that part.
Like I felt like it was like it was an embrace waist, and then it was like a little tug.
Closer, please.
Closer. And that motion just generally feels like a little bit more intimate, shall we say? And it just seemed very familiar in a way that's not just like, oh, they used to be married 10 years ago. Like I have divorced parents. No.
No tugs?
No tugs, no embraces. In fact, yeah, well, my mom listens to this, so it's fine. Like they couldn't be in the same room for 20 years, let alone an embrace and a tug. Mm-hmm. Like that's just out of bounds of the divorces that I know. And even in the era of conscious uncoupling,
right?
Like I don't think that Chris Martin and Gwyneth are doing like an embrace and a tug. So yeah, it did feel a little like, ooh. But to answer your question, I actually think that this rumor existed before that.
Oh, okay. Before the video.
Before the video. I think that Ben needs Jen Garner forever. She's sort of like, she is his glue that holds him together.
Yes.
And she was that during their marriage, and she has been that since their marriage.
Through all of his relationships, through everything he's been through.
There are rumors that she mediated the split between him and J-Lo.
Yes.
That is crazy.
It is crazy, but like if you look at what you know of her, it kind of tracks. She's so measured, rational, together. Yes. There's never been a bad word spoken about Jennifer Garner.
She's like the Tom Hanks of like female actresses.
She's pure good. And for the betterment of him, which is the betterment of her children. So you could see how she could get past all kinds of stuff if it meant that her kids would be good and he would be good. And then as a one's family unit, and still a family in their own ways, we're all good if these pieces are good. So then I'm just going to swallow this. And I could see her doing it.
Right.
I really could.
The rumor is that Jen Garner, and the words that are used in the press right now, is that she is deathly, with that word, deathly afraid of falling back in love with him.
Yeah. Terrified.
Which, fair. But also like, can we just be over it? This man cheated on her with the nanny.
Yep.
This man had to go to rehab multiple times while they were married and has then since forced her into this mediation role in all of his subsequent relationships, put her through hell and back multiple times. Can we just, like, let's not be afraid of falling back in love. Let's just be cool with really being done.
Yeah.
We need to put a period on the end of that.
I know where the period is. It's the back tattoo. She just needs him to take his shirt off, turn around, and she's like, that's the antidote.
You're right. Actually, good on that.
I'm good.
Thank you.
I don't
I don't need to revisit.
Yeah. Any idea of love?
Yeah.
Gone. I guarantee you it would erase it. It would clear it all up.
Pull up the photo of her driving him to rehab and going through the drive-through of Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
When he's in the back seat.
She like really did that. Yes.
She, on her way to driving him to rehab, pulled up to a fast food restaurant drive-through to get him a snack on his way. Now, if that doesn't give
I know
ick and mother and like in all
you're
of
an
the
infant.
Yeah, we need to be done there. So I really hope that part is just an embellishment on the part of the press.
Can I just say though, I do love Ben Affleck. I do. I love a Boston. I love an accent. I love.
And herein lies the problem.
I know, but I also love a Mark Wahlberg because I like that region.
Okay, so this is right. Yeah, no, I could see that for you.
That's part of my
But Ben
kryptonite.
has this unbelievable way of erasing the ick, and kind of like he almost like reinvents himself with he has eras, with every relationship or with every sort of like press tour, right? He was on the red carpet for South by Southwest over the weekend, and it was like, he looks good. He looks fit. He looks healthy. He looks happy. When he was with J-Lo, there was all this like grumpy Ben stuff, and
so much grumpy
always
Ben.
looked
slamming
miserable.
car doors and smoking and.
But even at on red carpets or at events, like he was just like, he had a perpetual sort of like grump. And I am not seeing any of that now. And I don't know if that means anything about his relationship with J-Lo, but I feel like it does. Like they had such a tumultuous kind of like almost like hate love.
Yes.
But now he seems very joyful. So yeah, he was on the carpet and I'm like,
he looked giddy.
No, I'd hit that.
You would too. So we're all forgiving it.
I mean, I'm not with the Mark Wahlberg, but with Ben, I get it. If I was Jen Garner, though,
no,
and I was forced to mother this man, and was cheated on with 20-year-old nannies,
right?
I don't know that I could get there, but
she does have a long-term partner too. Jen's had a partner since 2018.
Yeah,
I want to believe she's smart enough to be like, no, this man knows two women, Jen Garner and Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah,
we know he likes to go back and revisit. There's nothing, and if she could look at not only the marriage they had and the cheating with the nanny, when he revisited Jennifer Lopez, it didn't work. So we now know, we have lots of evidence to support that the revisits don't work.
They do not. And also, if you're Jen Garner and you split and he goes back to Jennifer Lopez, that is the deepest cut of them all.
The heart wants what it wants. But I also think because she is reasonable, pragmatic, logical, and all of those things, she would know that the possibility of a rekindling would affect those kids in ways that would be could be very detrimental. Sure. And I think for that reason, she would be like, you know what? No. As much as I'm into this and I like this and I have all these feelings and I love this man and I want to see him great, I wonder if she could override that with being very practical about knowing who she is. And she knows who he is. Probably more than anybody. She knows who he is.
Oh, yeah. She has seen it all.
She has indeed.
In the deepest, darkest moments.
I can't imagine them back together. I just can't.
I mean, for us, I hope it happens just because of the sheer gossip of it all. For her, I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
For him, he should never have left her. That was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, she is literally the perfect partner. Like, you couldn't ask for more than that. But he's just a dirty dog. And he wasn't thinking like that. He was thinking with other things, other organs, and shame. Yeah,
he's the kind of guy who's just chasing the next exciting thrill. That's what it seems like to me. Stable and a nice home and a lovely wife and a happy family could be boring to somebody like
lovely, gorgeous, intelligent, fit, kind, stunning. Like
all of it. She's perfect.
She's just literally perfect.
It's really sad that perfect can be boring for some people. Although we have to get to Meghan Markle later.
He does not.
Sorry, Meghan Sussex.
Get it right.
We have to get into with Love Meghan. Callie, when we heard about this show and we saw the trailer and we knew it was coming out, I said, this is my kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is a me show.
100%.
I baked sourdough this morning.
Right.
Fact.
Yeah.
I love
it.
It's over there.
It smells so good.
I love gardening. I've asked to keep bees at the cottage. I actually said to Randall, how hard could it be to keep chickens? I wanted chickens and chicken coops and eggs. This is my thing.
Right.
And I didn't like it.
Did Randall nix the bees?
Yeah, Randall nixed all of it because he said you're going to like it for 5 minutes and then...
That is not true. You have taken good care of that hot tub.
I have taken good care of our hot tub. He said you'll get into it for 5 minutes, then you'll be over it, and then I'll have to deal with the bees and the chickens. In some ways, he's not wrong. We have been together a long time.
Yeah.
But I really think I would have...
Those are high maintenance hobbies.
They are. But all that to be said, if this show didn't land for me...
And I've been waiting for your review because we haven't really spoken about...
No.
So
if this show didn't hit for me, who loves all of this stuff, who in my mind is a homesteader who lives downtown Toronto...
Yeah.
Then who is it landing for? I'm not mad that the show is unoriginal. I'm not mad at that. Okay. This format's been done 100 times.
I mean, that's, pop culture and Hollywood is all about sort of like reinventing the same concepts.
Yeah.
Which can be done well.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at wearing white while cooking pasta. I'm not mad at, making pretend parties in your pretend house. I'm not mad at any of that. I'm mad that it was boring. It was straight up capital B boring.
Right. Well, because
so undynamic.
I think that the bottom line is like you can make it look beautiful. You can put all the production bells and whistles on it. You can have an amazing producer, executive producer. You can have all of these perfect things, all of the right music and all of the stuff and all of the sort of storyboards. But if the individual who's hosting it is simply not, in your words, dynamic and lacks interest of all kinds, then it's just not going to work.
So I don't know if she herself isn't dynamic. I spent an afternoon with Meghan, then Markle, when she had the TIG, making food and drinks. Yeah. I did this. Mm-hmm. This was in 2014, 2015.
You were the original guest.
We were there.
And?
I was there. And she was charming and dynamic, and I had a lovely chat, and we talked about, all kinds of interesting things, and she was fun and engaging, and I remember laughing. I remember feeling like really wonderful in this person's presence. It was like a nice, fun afternoon.
Okay.
I don't know if this person is just so afraid to be herself, if she doesn't know who she is anymore.
I think she's trying so hard to be both relatable and aspirational. They don't correlate.
No.
So it's all conflicting with itself to make the identity really confusing of the show and of her.
Yeah.
And did she kind of lose her edge in the process of the, because it was giving royal, it was giving
too perfect
and too proper. And she kept saying, oh, make it imperfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. But every single part of this whole thing was like
perfect,
done with a smile and done, like it's almost.
I know. And it was like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be so sweet and darling and whimsical. But it was all put with a period punctuation of perfection.
Yeah.
And Mindy Kaling came in. The only interesting part I found,
100%.
She really made, I was like, oh, I'll see what, because she's funny and she's self-deprecating.
She could be the host of it.
Absolutely.
It was just perfect. It was relatable.
But the funny thing is, we're saying it's relatable. So it's like Mindy Kaling was relatable, but Mindy Kaling was also saying, I hire someone to do my kids' birthday parties, which is not relatable. But for some reason,
but
her
it's
approach
honest.
was, that's where the relatability
but it's honest.
was. It
and
was
you're like,
oh
okay, I know who this person is.
And it's not performing well now either, from what I could see. Like, it's dropped out of the top 10 on Netflix within a matter of days.
Yeah.
It's got a really bad score on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's like 11% or something.
It's terrible.
Like that.
Yeah. And it has been renewed for the second season, but
they've already shot it though.
Yeah, it's already been shot. So
they didn't have a choice.
No, it's
which
done.
is interesting to shoot it before you've gotten any feedback. Like the goal, like if they want to take another shot at it, so to speak, great.
Listen to the feedback
and shoot it again and let her settle into it a little bit before you shoot more episodes. It's almost like that doesn't make any sense. Because if you haven't course corrected based on feedback, it's not going to perform better.
I understand that she wanted to incorporate friends, but even that felt really
I was just going to say, like it didn't feel like it didn't feel like it feels like when I'm with you and we're just chilling out, and even if we're working on something, like there's a familiarity, there's an ease. and ease of communication.
Yeah.
The Mindy stuff was so cringe.
So uncomfortable.
All of it was like, I mean, I don't actually think they're friends. And I think Mindy kind of made that clear when she was on The View last week. She's so square, but in a way that feels performatively square.
Yeah.
Like the whole tell me about your look.
My what? Your look.
I feel like the producer did her dirty keeping that in.
Or did she want it because she thought it was like, oh, here is a little
so
snippet.
endearing.
So
Look at
darling.
me.
Everything is so sweet and so darling. And even when everyone kept complimenting her and complimenting her hosting and her beautiful everything and her perfect everything, there was not even a moment of like self-deprecation or even claiming that the kids are going to want to eat this stuff. They're not going to want to eat this stuff. Kids don't want to eat this stuff. Kids aren't eating ladybug toast. I'm telling you that right now. I have 2 of them.
Not with a giant tomato on it.
No. Like adults will think that's cute for sure. I think so much of what in that Mindy episode that she claimed was for the kids was actually just to impress the moms, which is the bullshit part of being a mom. I hate that part of being a mom. And truthfully, I hate those moms. And I can clock them from a mile away where it's like, oh, we just did this for the kids. No, you didn't.
No.
You did this so that other moms think you're a better mom. And I hate that.
Tell us how you feel.
I really hate that. I just want to be like, if you're cool, if you're yourself and you know what the assignment is.
So if you see a sprinkle of flowers on an hors d'oeuvre, you're out.
No, you know what I love? I love a parent that serves a white slab cake at a birthday party or a grocery store pack of cupcakes.
Tastes the best anyways.
It's the best. If you told me you're going to overhear Magnolia something, no.
Order a goddamn pizza.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pizza. At Marigold's party, I did McDonald's. I did cheeseburgers, nuggets, and fries.
Perfect.
And a Longo's cake.
Perfect.
Longo's cupcakes. Done. And guess what? Thrilled.
Loved
blue
it.
icing. Kids have blue teeth, blue tongues, blue
Loved
faces.
it.
Love it.
Ate it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want. If I did something different, it wouldn't be for them. I
Right.
understand people don't want to give their kids all the, refined sugars
Okay.
and food dyes. Fine, whatever. I'm of the thinking that it's like a day. Who cares? Like, let it
Right.
go. This was all performative for the other parents. And like, if you're living in that bubble of competitive moms, that for me is a no thanks. I hate that.
I think it's performative for the parents, but I just think it's performative for the world.
Yeah.
And she's so kind of desperate to be accepted. And she's just in the process of being desperate and trying to please and appease and be fitting into all these different boxes that she's not. She's just pushing us farther and farther away. And I actually feel sad for her about it.
You've really nailed it. She's desperate to please and be accepted because she doesn't really know where she fits. That is the root of all of it.
I want to meet the girl that Harry fell in love with.
There has to be a
Right, because he
he's
is
funny,
so fun
and
charming and social and liked and likable and like all of those things that she doesn't seem to be. She just feels like at this point so robotic. That's kind of what it is as well. But I want to meet that girl, and it's like I feel sad for her that she just either can't be herself or truly has lost sense of who she is to the point where it's like we're watching her live absolutely floundering to figure out who she is.
Or is there a lot of people, or are there a lot of people telling her, well, this didn't work on the podcast, you need to be more like this. This didn't work when you were in the royal family, so we need you to be more like this.
Right.
And maybe she's just hearing from a lot of people what not to be and who to be, and the best, most palatable thing to be is just neutral. Not interesting, dynamic, not funny, not self-deprecating, not imperfect. It's just beige. It was
Really
very,
beige,
very, very beige.
just like her clothing, just like all of it.
Like the last name.
So yeah, like
We have to.
that moment when she's with her best friend Mindy, who's calling her Meghan Markle, as we all have been.
Yeah.
Never once have I heard any rumblings of a name change.
No.
She says, I don't know why you keep calling me Meghan Markle. You know, I'm Meghan Sussex now. Sussex? Wait, what? I'm confused. The world is confused. First of all, I don't think that that's actually the right thing because that's not their family name. That's not Harry's family name even. Harry's family name is Windsor.
Mountbatten Windsor. Now, keep going because then I had to do some research because I'm as confused as the rest of the planet.
And even Ivor, who, if you know, on Traders, who's part of the royal family.
That's King Charles's second cousin, right? Yes.
And he said, that's not the right name. Got it wrong, Meghan. But it's also like, wait, so we just did this whole exercise for the last 5 years of exercising yourself from the royal family. We have been on this journey with you to create your nuclear family and your autonomy from the royals, this terrible place that you had to exile yourself from.
Yes.
And you endured so much trauma and abuse and racism and all of these awful things, truly. Like we were all like, yes, go,
be happy, live.
Create your happy home together. And now now you're taking on the royal name, and in the credits, the very first credit refers to her as Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
What in God's name is going on?
So which is it though? Are you Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, or are you Meghan Sussex?
Or are you
Meghan
Markle,
Rachel
the
Meghan
woman
Markle,
who ran away from the royals because it was such a horrible environment for you? So which are you now?
But that's the thing. That's the question we can't answer.
Does she know?
We've been circling this drain of question this entire chat because it's like, who are you? Name, show.
Help us out.
Help us figure this out. She doesn't know, and it's very, very, very clear. So I did do a little bit of research because there's lots of people saying it is normal, it has been done where royals will take a title and make it a surname. Okay. So I guess Prince William's kids are known as
Cambridge?
Wales, because now he's the Prince of Wales because his dad's the king.
So did their name change?
So they're known as like Charlotte Wales at school. Louis
was
Wales.
she Charlotte Cambridge at one point?
Maybe.
So does their name change every time their title changes?
I guess, but like, are we doing this formally on documents? I'm not sure. And also, I changed my last name when I got married, and I took a lot of heat for it. I sure did.
I said if I had kids, I would change my name. And I understand that.
Why people do it.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I took a lot of heat. I had a lot of people saying to me that it was anti-feminist to do that. And I was like, okay, I roll, you people who claim you're feminists and aren't.
Okay, Jane, sit down.
Yeah, honestly. And I did it because it was a choice I could make, which is an empowered decision, which is what feminism really is. It was my choice to do. My problem isn't the name or whatever it is. It's the way in which the name was served up to us. And the way in which Mindy Kaling was put in that situation to be the receiver of the name. If you had this new name that you were now like floating out to the world, hey, this is who I am now. That should have been done in pre-press interviews. She did the cover of People magazine. That would have been the time to reveal. Lots of opportunity to tell people the name and the reason behind the name, and if it is for that cohesive family name thing, I get that. Yeah. That's fine. But the way in which she delivered it to her friend in her home, a friend that she invited over or into the staged home, it was rude. I thought it was very rude.
It was very condescending.
And it was condescending to her friend, and it put Mindy Kaling in a weird spot. And it wasn't the way to deliver that name. And the thing about the name is because of the way it was delivered, it's become the only thing anyone's talking about besides the fact that the show is super boring. So the delivery of the name was really problematic.
I agree. I think if she had said something along the lines of, I don't know if I told you this and I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I made a huge change and this is what it is now. And I was so excited to tell you.
Right. Also, no one knew. They shot this 9 months ago.
Right.
No one knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pre-conversation. It wasn't as though it had been released to the world. It was anything. So Mindy Kaling was the first person to find out.
Poor Mindy.
That
whole thing, I felt like badly for her.
Me
she
too.
had to work. I mean, she was working overtime.
And drinking.
Yeah. Copious amounts of alcohol. She's like, yep, fill her up.
Now the question is, what is this podcast that's coming out? She's got another podcast.
Oh my God.
Keep in mind, the first podcast, Archetypes, did not succeed.
No.
Not only did it not succeed, the head of Spotify podcasting called them grifters.
Yeah.
Grifters.
We can't forget about that article.
The grifters, he said, would have been a better name.
Oh boy.
So not great.
Right.
Not a great foray into podcasting. What now?
Right.
What now?
We just need to take a beat, Meghan Sussex. We just need to take a beat. Maybe we need some focus groups with some real people. Give us a call.
Yeah.
We're happy to workshop this with
Yeah.
you. And not that we're like the best at it, but it's just like call some real humans.
Yes.
Have them sit and like watch your thing and then have a conversation about the reactions.
Yeah.
And then take those responses and then try to weave them into the next thing that you do versus la 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 la, eyes closed, ears closed, like see no evil, hear no evil, will not hear any feedback, will not. Great. I am perfect the way that I am. Yeah. But it's like, and you are, but let's just go a little deeper. But she needs some therapy. Maybe she needs some ayahuasca.
We need some real friends and some ayahuasca. It is really hard to understand how something that is clearly a passion, something you're clearly good at. This is not a question of alignment.
Yeah.
This is
you love this
lane.
Yeah. She loves it. That's clear.
How did you miss the mark so bad?
Correct.
How?
Meghan missed the Markle.
Sussex. Meghan, it sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks. Meghan, it's
oh, poor Meghan.
I know.
I know. Yay, poor
Maybe
Meghan.
season 2 will be different. No, it won't.
No,
anyway,
probably not.
Speaking of sequels.
Yeah, and speaking of ayahuasca.
Yeah, A Simple Favor.
Yes.
Part 2.
A Simple Favor Part 2 had their premiere at South by Southwest, which we knew about, right? Mm-hmm. We've been kind of counting down and clocking this as something to watch for because we knew that they were going to have this red carpet premiere. Of course, there have been long-standing rumors that Blake and her co-star Anna Kendrick have not gotten along in the past, which people are using as fodder and fuel for why everyone should hate Blake and the fact that no co-star is ever gonna get along with her because she's a terrible person. And all eyes were on both of these women at the red carpet to see were they gonna pose together, which is not uncommon in movies for stars to pose together,
of course,
for them to walk the carpet simultaneously in each other's sort of orbit. And to engage kindly and speak kindly of each other in interviews.
Mm-hmm. Especially now.
And especially knowing, that people are watching. Like, it's not like they're unaware. They are very aware that we're all watching.
Blink
to
is studied.
See what is going on between these two women.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't look like good.
No, but I think it's everyone's pinning this on Blake. Like, oh, Anna Kendrick responded this way to the question of how's it been to work with Blake again? And this was a reporter's question on the red carpet. Anna Kendrick gives and everyone took it like, oh, it's bad. Yeah. She hates
Blake
her.
The monster.
Blake is a monster. Yeah. Facts. Anna Kendrick is a jerk face.
Ooh.
I have been on the receiving end of an Anna Kendrick interview on a red carpet, and I have seen that exact response.
No.
Talk about condescending.
Really?
When the question was asked of her about how does it feel to be a part of this with everything going on, if you watch that video 100 times like I have, or even once, you'll see Anna Kendrick is really burning that reporter's face with her eyes. It's like this flickering of eye and studying of her face and looking for a way to make her feel uncomfortable. And she did.
Yes.
She went and said, I don't know what you're talking about. I was on an ayahuasca trip. I've erased the last month of my life. I heard the movie's great. Bye. Mwah.
Yeah.
And it was so
gross
and rude. First of all,
so you had that experience with
I
her
did.
When you...
Here's the Anna Kendrick piece. Anna Kendrick comes out on a red carpet and she's great with fans. Great with the fans, photos, autographs, the whole nine.
Okay.
In my experience on a red carpet with press, rude, condescending, and mostly not engaged. You had to anticipate that people were going to ask you that and ask you about the whole thing. I don't understand the disrespect. It's so unnecessary.
Really?
And it was a woman asking the question, so why would you treat another woman that way? Yeah. There is an absolutely gracious way to handle uncomfortable questions. I've asked uncomfortable questions and been on the receiving end of responses that were gracious and respectful and didn't serve the purpose to make me feel small and stupid. Yeah. And that's what she tried to do there. But again, people took Anna Kendrick's response as Blake is a jerk. Blake is the problem. When in fact, Anna Kendrick does not know how to behave on a red carpet, in my opinion.
Right.
She doesn't.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So this is an Anna problem, not a Blake problem. And the woman who asked the question, I thought it was actually phrased kindly. Like it was thoughtful.
She teed it up nicely.
She asked it in a way that was like, so with everything going on, like, how does it feel? She could say, you know what? We're doing great. We're so excited about this movie. We've seen lots of stars redirect from a question they don't want to answer.
Yes.
In a way that's gracious. It could have been, you know what? Like, we're not focusing on any drama right now. We're only focusing on how much we loved making this movie and we can't wait for you to see it. Period.
Done. Thank you so much for your time. And you move on. Oh, well, how did you think people were going to take that?
Well, I can't imagine that she thinks that anyone's going to take that in any other way other than it was bad.
Yeah.
She's implying that working with Blake was bad.
Yep.
So then that's what we're going with. So then we can expect that they're not going to do any interviews together.
Yep.
And that these will be the confirmations of it all. And I just don't understand we've all worked with people that we don't love and that we're not going to be best friends with.
What are you talking about?
Who knows? But, we've all been in that situation where we've had to rise above and be professionals.
Yeah.
And put our personal issues aside in the name of work and a project that we want to see succeed.
Yep.
Why can't these people, like, nothing has happened that could be so terrible that you can't stand on a red carpet with someone, put your arm around them and take a photo, or just say it was great. Blake managed to do it.
That's right. Took the photos, revealed the dress under the dress.
The latex dress.
The latex dress, weird. I love a bustier, but the dress was weird for me.
And the hair was weird.
The hair was very weird. I don't know why. And then, when they were on stage, Anna Kendrick looking at the floor, you're an actress. Just act for the 2 hours you have to do this.
Exactly.
But this is great. I do it all the time. Still.
Yeah.
I pretend like situations are fine all the time.
Yeah, we're adults.
We're adults.
Moving through a weird world with weird people.
Yeah.
And like just save it, pretend like it's all fine, go home and dish about it and gossip about it like normal people behind closed doors in the group chat. Okay.
Yeah. And control your face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just fix your face.
Fix your face.
Again, you're an actor. You have these skills,
this is
or
your
you should.
literal job.
It's your literal job.
Now, the other It Ends With Us cast member that was on that very same red carpet for another project was Brandon Sklenar, who is the other male lead in It Ends With Us with Blake. And there's been a little bit of speculation about whether he's trying to send subliminal messages to the press about whose team he's on. He wore a brooch on the Oscars red carpet that looked similar to the one that Justin Baldoni wore on the red carpet last summer for the It Ends With Us press tour, blah, 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 blah. People are reaching. The internet is reaching so hard. He was asked about it at the South by Southwest premiere. He was asked about the brooch and whether or not he was trying to say something with that.
Yeah.
And he said, no, like I woke up to all this noise and nonsense about it. And like literally I just liked the brooch and I just wanted to wear a brooch.
Right.
It goes no deeper than that. And I believe him.
I do too. It's like people are,
yeah.
Aren't you tired,
It's
people?
too much.
Aren't you exhausted?
It's too much.
It is.
But he is in a new movie with Sydney Sweeney. And the Sydney Sweeney we know has a very particular marketing tool.
Yeah.
And that is to either actually fall in love or at least cosplay falling in love with her co-stars.
A co-star romance.
Yeah.
Yep.
We saw her do this with Glenn Powell.
We did. On
For that
awful movie.
For that movie. Awful. However, it did do like $200 million. Did
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked.
She drew a lot of eyeballs to that movie because we were like, we need to see this chemistry in action.
Yeah.
It turns out that wasn't a romance. She was just sort of, or was it or wasn't it? Whatever. We still don't know. But
what about this one?
It's not. And in this one, Sydney on her Instagram, as part of a carousel, posted a photo of her and Brandon, her co-star in her new movie.
Okay.
Together with him hoisting her up onto his shoulder. So it was like grabbing by the waist and lifting her up and placing her on his shoulder. Like the way you would with a kid, like sling a kid over your shoulder and then their heads like at your butt.
Yeah.
Like there were moments like that. It was all this behind the scenes of them doing this. It was very flirtatious.
Okay.
Like it was, and remember, she's engaged.
She is?
Yes.
To who?
She's engaged to, I think, a chef.
I did not know this. I
She's
thought this
been
girl was
engaged-
just out here having the best time. What are
That's
you telling
why
me?
it was so scandalous. It's like, okay, if you're just flirting with your co-star, great, enjoy if you're single. The whole thing is that she's been engaged all during the Glenn Powell thing. She's engaged.
Kelly, I feel like I'm the worst entertainment news
I
podcast
can't believe you
host
didn't know
in the
this.
world. I did not know this.
She's engaged, but
Wow.
they just announced, so they were supposed to get married May 2025, so in a short few months. But in February, they postponed because she says she's working too much and she loves working, and great, good for her. But that's a little sus.
Uh-huh.
And now here she is with Brandon, who also has a girlfriend. So these are two people in other relationships who are acting extremely flirtatious. Again, if we put the same lens on it that we did with the Ben and Jen Garner video, it's like, yeah, I, as a married woman, am not going to behave this way with anyone.
No.
Super inappropriate.
Super inappropriate. And listen, I will say that I was a flirt on television for many years, and I cleared it with Randall before. And Randall's just like immune to all of that stuff. And that was before we got married and before we had kids. That was just like we were dating, and it would be like sometimes like a little party trick in an interview. It'd be just funny, mostly innocent. But
I think
only,
that makes sense.
Yeah, the only person who could really determine its innocence would be Randall, right? To see if he was uncomfortable.
Right.
And he was fine.
Yeah.
With it. But that's where it stopped. This was an engagement. This isn't many people. This isn't out there for people to wonder whether or not you're together or not, and then posting it. That's just a whole other level of weird.
And this isn't like George Clooney on the carpet, like giving a wink to a reporter in a kind of like in a context where it makes sense to have a fun banter and be a little flirtatious. Like I almost think that as a reporter, like that isn't in a sort of really harmless way, having a little flirtatious banter with someone makes a lot of sense. That's just an engaged conversation where you're bouncing off each other. That can be seen as flirting, but is super harmless. This feels like behind the scenes, these people are groping each other, they're flinging each other, they're laughing together, and in a way, again, that I just don't do with my male friends, platonic friends.
Whilst engaged, you just blew my mind today.
Yeah.
Speaking of big flirts, Kate Hudson, we have to talk about, and that is a self-proclaimed statement.
Yes.
She has said she is the biggest flirt in the world. And we have to talk about her because we love that she is, back out there in so many ways, right? With her new show, which is called
Running Point.
I want to call it Running Time. Did you
Devoured
love it?
Loved it. I watched it on vacay during the workouts, of course. It's my go-to. Loved it.
I need to see
Loved it in a way. So I don't love comedies. Like I don't reach for comedies first when I'm looking for entertainment, even on the treadmill or doing whatever I'm doing. I don't necessarily I'm not drawn to that type of content. Written and produced by Mindy Kaling. It is a fantastic show.
Is it so great?
Kate is so great. Man, she is such a good comedian.
Yeah.
She's so good at that physical comedy. It's sort of outrageous without being obnoxious. And she's so charming, and she's a great actress. I just loved all of it.
Oh, I can't wait to watch.
I really loved the show. I highly, highly recommend it. It is so, so good. Her outfits in the show are spectacular. And I just love this. So she's 45.
Is she?
No shade intended, thought she was older than that.
Yeah. She does feel older than that to me. Maybe because she has a 21-year-old.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think she was nominated for an Oscar when she was 21. And so I think maybe that just felt really mature to us. She looks gorgeous, but she didn't have the Lindsay Lohan treatment. She looks like she's aging. Yep. At a normal pace. She's glamorous and she's beautiful and all the things, but she's not perfectly, wrinkle free or smooth or any of those things. She's just real. And that's probably why we love her. And it's back to why the mark was missed with the Markle is because you're right. She's imperfect and we love her for that because people feel like, oh my gosh, you're aging in a way
that
That's
feels
relatable. But I agree. I think that it really goes hand in hand with her. If her personality was this like kind of kooky, relatable, silly, down to earth girlfriend, and then she was perfectly curated and smooth and tucked and contoured, it would be something, again, that would be counterintuitive, the way that we're talking about with Meghan.
Yeah.
And so it just really fits.
It really fits. And I think she would be the coolest girlfriend you could possibly have.
Totally.
You could tell her anything. She wouldn't judge.
No.
She'd be down for anything.
Yes.
She'd bury a body for you.
100%.
I think I also really loved her take, because as you said, she's doing the rounds, her take on parenting. So she does have kids that span quite a few age brackets.
Right.
She's got 21 all the way down to maybe 9, which is a long time to be parenting.
That's right.
And she said, that what she's learned in parenting is that, it's healthy and helpful to show your kids, I could have handled this better. I could have done this differently, and to apologize to your kids. And it was just really nice to see, because that's exactly how I'm trying to parent.
Yeah.
I mean, I received a total of maybe 1 apology my entire life. My parents also listen.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I'm sorry you felt that way.
Right. Nice. No. I mean, it's relatable.
Maybe they don't get
but
to the
that's
end
a
of the episode.
generation,
But yeah.
right? That was the generation of parents that we had, with the information that they were given.
Yes.
With the tools that they had.
Yes.
And I think they truly did their best, all of them.
100%. And they are the most amazing. In this case, she's kind of further being a very relatable parent, a Hollywood parent from Hollywood parents.
Yep.
Who's like, no, you know what? I screw up. And I've made mistakes, and I've definitely scarred them in some ways, but I'm really trying to be to make amends and to make them feel like they can make mistakes too. And I really love that piece, because again, it was this like, wow, even Kate Hudson with all the everything has made mistakes with her kids and is finding ways to repair. And I thought that was really great. I also thought it was really interesting that she doesn't want to get married. She's like not about the contract piece of the marriage.
Well, she has had a few.
Yep.
She has a few under her belt, and they didn't work out. So I understand kind of like, and remember that Goldie and Kurt.
Yeah.
They're sort of the poster children of not making it official, but having this amazing, long-lasting love.
I think they're 40 years of engaged.
Love that.
I think it's great. What I also love about Kate Hudson is that she's really kind of doing life on her own terms. As you said.
Yeah.
Marriages that maybe didn't work out, co-parenting in different ways.
Yep.
Working when she wants on projects she wants, aging how she wants, not getting married again because that's what people expect you to do. Like she really is
releasing albums
the
in her
definition
40s.
Of my way.
And just doing the damn thing the way that she's going to do it. Now, I did find Goldie's beauty advice for Kate. Did you see this?
No.
Okay, well, I wanted to share this with you because I feel like you might enjoy this piece of advice. Okay. So,
is it curtain bangs?
Goldie's advice to her daughter Kate is, quote, "Don't fix what's not broke. If you love the way your hair is, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Just do what you feel good about." And I thought that is the perfect piece of beauty advice that you would feel very aligned with.
Yeah.
And I felt like she was speaking to you.
That is absolutely speaking to me because I'm locked into this look for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. No, this is what we're doing forever.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is great advice.
And I mean, I love my mom, and I also feel like Goldie would be the best mom.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that is great advice.
Yeah. And Goldie sure has, and we talked about this last week for the Oscars, but she really has locked into that look as well.
Yes.
And Kate really, still kind of looks the same.
You don't need to get all inventive with your look.
No.
For me, people are like, I'm bored, I'll cut my hair. I've never in the history of my life thought, I'm bored, I'll cut my hair. I'm bored, I'll make some bread.
Right.
I'm bored, I'll go for a walk. I'm bored, I'll call a friend. I'm
Right.
not changing my hair.
Well, I did that last year, and I don't recommend it.
I love that haircut
No.
on you. I stand by that haircut.
No, I will. I am still
So
paying the
chic.
price of that one.
It was so chic. We're going to throw up a photo of it. It was
my
so
God.
good. I loved it on
Never
you.
sharing a photo of that.
Okay, well, I don't agree.
No.
So we're locked in here. Thank you for locking in with us today.
Yeah.
And for listening.
Yeah.
And supporting. And and sharing your feelings and your thoughts because we love hearing about it.
Yeah, go watch Running Point. Don't watch With Love, Megan, because we did it for you so you don't have to.
Very true.
Yeah, save yourself that time.
But come back here next week for another episode of In 3.
Yeah.
We love
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.